What is going on, YouTube? So coming back today, I wanted to do my first edition of my 2020 NFL mock draft. Wanted to jump in pretty early here to this just because I feel like there's a lot to dissect always after the previous year's mock draft or after the previous year's draft ends. And so I wanted to go ahead and jump right in here. So we'll start number one, and I will say that the draft order I picked off of NBCSports.com for their way too early 2020 NFL mock draft. The first overall pick is going to go to the Miami Dolphins, a team that more than likely will need a quarterback next year unless Josh Rosen works out. And I'm going to go with Alabama's Tua Tagovailoa. I think that Tua is I think he'll be the first prospect off the board in this draft. He is probably the best quarterback in this draft class, and barring like a massive rise from Justin Herbert or maybe Jalen Hurts if another Oklahoma quarterback goes number one overall. But I think that Tua is just far and away number one here. Number two, I have the Oakland Raiders, who will be having to move on possibly from Derek Carr if he works out. Great. But I have them going with Justin Herbert, taking the West Coast kid. Strong arm out of Oregon. I think he's the number two quarterback by a good margin in this class. Number three, you got the New York Giants, a team that definitely could use a pass rusher in this draft. Granted, a team that could probably use a lot outside of running back. And I have them taking the Iowa defensive end, AJ Epinesa, a guy who had double-digit sacks last year, double-digit tackles for loss, I believe, more than 15, and should be an absolute stud in the Big Ten this season. At number four, got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a team that could have a multitude of draft needs. Kind of hard to tell where they would go, but I think getting game-changing defensive lineman would be a good place to start for them. I've been taking Auburn's defensive line anchor, Derek Brown. Could be an absolute stud up the middle for them. Number five for the Arizona Cardinals, a team that I think should start building around Kyler Murray. So I have them taking the best wide receiver off the board in this class, and that is Alabama's Jerry Jeudy, Biletnikoff Award winner last year. Should have a big, I believe, junior campaign at Alabama. Number six, the San Francisco 49ers, again, a team that has a multitude of draft needs, but definitely could use a little bit of defensive line help, especially after what happened with Solomon Thomas, get out of Stanford a few years back. I have them going with Chase Young, Ohio State edge rusher, arguably the best edge rusher in this class. It's kind of hard to tell. I think that'll form as time goes along. It's just obviously not as stacked of a defensive line class as we had in 2019. So number seven, the Buffalo Bills. I have them going with, trying to build around a quarterback they took in 2018, Josh Allen. I put a little bit of a line in front of him, let him run around for a little bit longer. I'm going to go with Georgia's Andrew Thomas. Best offensive lineman, I would say, in this class. Stud offensive tackle, 6'7". Very strong, very fluid, and I think he would be a good player for the Bills to take a few minutes just to slip down to number seven. Number eight, I have the Detroit Lions trying to upgrade the secondary. Secondary that's getting a little bit older. I have them going with LSU's Grant Delpit, solid safety that I think could be a star right away in the NFL. Number nine, New York Jets. I think their biggest need is going to be to upgrade the offensive line. I'm going to have them taking Tennessee's Trey Smith, really the only returning offensive lineman for the Volunteers with any sort of experience, but also helps this Jets team actually start compiling a little bit of talent on the offensive side of the ball. And I think just the second best, I would say, arguably the second best offensive lineman on the board here. So number 10, Jacksonville Jaguars. I have them going with T. Higgins, Clemson wide receiver. Jags seemingly always need wide receiver talent, but T. Higgins was an absolute stud last year for the Tigers, and I think he should only get better this year. Cincinnati Bengals, number 11. I have them taking a quarterback. Andy Dalton there might be over here soon, but I do really think there's a clear top three quarterbacks in this class, and I'm going to have them going with Georgia's Jake Fromm. Number 12, the Denver Broncos. So Denver Broncos, maybe have a quarterback to build around now. But I've been going with Walker Little. If the Broncos are finally going to solve their quarterback woes, that'd be Joe Flacco. Great. If it wouldn't be for that much longer, but at least protect whoever you got there. And take arguably the second or third best offensive lineman in the class, Stanford offensive tackle Walker Little. Number 13, the Washington Redskins. Oh, here you go, man. Big need in the secondary. I'm going to have them going with Florida C.J. Henderson. Again, so in the secondary, it seems like Florida has a defensive back that goes off the board in the first round every single year. And the Redskins do need to upgrade the secondary. Number 14, Cleveland Browns. I'm going to have to go with the Wisconsin offensive guard, who I think is far and away the best offensive guard in the class. It's Tyler Biadasz. But the Cleveland Browns are going to need some type of help here to upgrade the ground game. They do have a decent offensive line at the moment, but the skill positions are just so much outweigh the offensive line talent for that team. So protect Baker Mayfield, give Nick Chubb some push up front, give Baker Mayfield some time to find his newfound weapon in Odell Beckham Jr. Now, number 15, Tennessee Titans. I kind of like this pick. This gives the Titans someone that they can build around on defense, or partly build around, maybe use as a cornerstone to build. Trevon Diggs, Alabama cornerback, also special teams threat. Trevon Diggs is extremely athletic and elusive, but also he's got pretty good physical tools for what you'd look for out of a prototypical NFL corner. I believe he's about 6'1", 6'2", very lengthy at that. So number 16 for the Carolina Panthers, a team that also needs to upgrade its secondary. I'm going to go with Jalen Johnson, Utah cornerback that is finally getting some exposure as he should, but also good leaping ability, quick hips, and pretty physical corner. So I think that would be a good fit with the Panthers. Vikings need to along the offensive line more than likely in 2020. They can fill that with Washington's Trey Adams. Again, pretty good class of offensive tackles, and the Vikings can manage to get Trey Adams looking down to number 17 would be a good fit there. Number 18, the Green Bay Packers, who I think will either take a running back or a linebacker, given the probably the plethora that there will be of linebackers in the back half of the first round. But I'm going to have them going with Alabama's Dylan Moses, former five-star recruit. Also one of the stars of the Alabama defense this year. He would bring a new level of speed and physicality to the Packers defense. Number 19, Baltimore Ravens, team that is going to have a need for running back next year. It's a pretty stacked running back class, at least from the early indications. I'm going to have them going with Wisconsin's Jonathan Taylor. Going to be a high contender this fall. Absolute freak, and as long as he stays healthy, I think he'll be a really solid running back at the next level. Number 20, got another running back coming off the board to the Atlanta Falcons, who will probably need it at that point, Travis Etienne. Pretty much in the same part of the country that he's playing college ball in right now with Clemson. Could come away with another national title before he makes the jump to the NFL, but helps the Falcons offense keep the skill position talent alive. So number 21, the Houston Texans. There's a multitude of ways the Texans can go. I think a lot of it's going to depend on health. But say Clowney and Watt still continue to have injury issues, I like to pick up Raekwon Davis, Alabama kid that can play a few different positions along the line for the Texans. Number 22, Pittsburgh Steelers. Another big need to upgrade the secondary. Christian Fulton, LSU cornerback, who could really fall anywhere between 7 or 8 and 30 in the first round. He's a solid corner, I believe a little bit smaller, but make sure on that. But he's very quick. He's got good ball skills, and overall, I think he could be a pretty quick riser in this draft. About 5'10", 200 pounds. So, a little bit smaller there. Also, not a whole lot of exposure at the college level, but this is going to be a big year for him. All right, number 22. I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks here. I'm going to go with Auburn's Nick Coe. Auburn seems like they return a stacked defensive line class every year, but Nick Coe and Derek Brown are going to be the highlights of their defensive line this year. Nick Coe a little bit more experienced, but also could be a monster for the Seahawks. The Seahawks defensive line. A guy that has some insane. 18 tackles for loss, 55 total tackles for the last 2 years in his first 2 years at Auburn. So move on here. Number 24, the Philadelphia Eagles. I think you're going to see more players along the front seven get selected in the 20s here, though. And I have the Eagles going with Isaiah Simmons, Clemson linebacker. He's going to be really, really quick in the middle. Pretty physical, sure tackler. He'd also fit in at safety, but about 6'3", 6'4", 230. And I'm not really sure which position he would fit in at the next level, but pretty versatile piece of the Eagles slot, either a linebacker or in the secondary to help fill an aging gap of their defense. Number 25, the Indianapolis Colts. I think they could go at tight end or wide receiver here. I do like the idea of them taking wide receiver from Texas, Colin Johnson. Give Andrew Luck a big weapon on the outside to throw the ball up to, a guy that's been pretty dominant for the Longhorns. Number 26, the Oakland Raiders. If you're going to draft Justin Herbert there, number 2, why not give him a weapon to look to almost anywhere on the field? Laviska Shenault, the Colorado, really anywhere you give him the ball. And do as much you may for the Raiders, but they need more skill position talent. Number 27, the Dallas Cowboys. I'm selecting another kid out of Texas, safety Brandon Jones. I think the Cowboys do have a need at safety. They were much better on defense last year, and keep that trend going. Keep adding to the secondary, and Brandon Jones can be one of the best safeties off the board in this class. Number 28 to this Los Angeles Chargers. I always want to say San Diego, but I think it's time to pick a quarterback to fill the void after Phillip Rivers is done. And at this point, if Jake Fromm's also off the board, and who knows who's going to be the riser in this class, but one name that really sticks out to me early on is going to be Jordan Love, Utah State quarterback. Dual threat, very efficient with the ball. He has a good arm, but he could be the group of 5 darling that we just see emerge every single year. Number 29, the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, need in the secondary. I kind of like Bryce Hall, Virginia kid, falling to them. He's really physical, about 6'1", 6'2" corner. Competition's not the greatest in the ACC for him, but I do think he'll be an interesting name that, much like Christian Fulton, could be a fast riser up the draft board. This is a pretty good cornerback and pretty intriguing cornerback class. I think better than last year's was, but he's pretty interesting prospect. He's very versatile, and I think like 5 career interceptions, like 3 career forced fumbles, triple digits total tackles, and 3 sacks. He brings a lot to the table, and again, given a good senior year, could be a fast riser up draft boards. Number 30, New Orleans Saints. Saints, I think, upgrade the defense somehow or upgrade the receiving corps. I like the idea of Patty Fisher, the Northwestern linebacker. He's available here. He's pretty versatile, but mainly he's just a rock up the middle, and it's some way to solidify that defense up the middle from the second level. Number 31, Los Angeles Rams, probably going to have to go offensive line here. Go with the best offensive lineman out of Notre Dame this year, Tommy Kramer, an absolute force up, or that can push up the middle for the ground game. Holds up pretty well in the passing game as well, but this is going to be a big year for him. Number 32, New England Patriots. Patriots could upgrade a wide receiver next year. Who knows what the skill positions are going to look like every single offseason for them. But I like them going with the guy that just lost everyone, but I can go up and get any ball despite his like 6 foot or 6'1" frame. Tylan Wallace. It just seems like a nice fit with the Patriots there. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I just want to go through the first round here. Again, this NBC Sports draft order. So I didn't really go in depth on any pick too much. I wanted to give what I think the first round could shake out like as of like June 2019. So anyway, that is pretty much it. See ya.